guys, this is Angela Pacey with Van Dyke Mortgage. Goodness, it has been. We are out here at Poinsett in Sumter, South Carolina. Yesterday we did the Swan Lake Iris Park. I'll show you pictures of both of them. It is amazing. You know, you'll be on beauty overload, at least I was yesterday. And then today it is 98 degrees out here hiking through this park, but it's an absolute amazing trail. I would have liked for it to have been a little cooler. As you can tell, I'm like glistening a lot. But anyway, I'll show you some pictures. We've seen so many different things. We saw a yucca plant that was in bloom, saw some cacti that was had these beautiful yellow, like almost lemon color blooms on them. I'll show you those things too. It runs along a beautiful creek emptying into a beautiful pond. So it's a really nice place to be. If you're ever down here, it's on the other side of Columbia, South Carolina. It's definitely worth making the trip out here. You probably want to do both things when you're here, especially if you're coming from Charlotte, just because it's you know, a couple of hour drive here. But again, the Swan Lake, it blew me away. Couldn't believe it. I bet there were hundreds of swans, and there are 8 different species that are there. But in a little while, after I've cooled off, I'll visit back and tell you some things that are happening in the mortgage industry. Okay, see you soon. Hi guys, it's Angela Pacey with Van Dyke Mortgage, back here after a very long, hot hike in Sumter, South Carolina at Poinsett State Park. It was absolutely beautiful, and I'll show you some of the things that we saw today and experienced today, but man, it was hot. I've had some time to cool off, and so I thought we'd take a few minutes and just talk about what's happening in the mortgage industry. Let's see. Well, first of all, there's a lot of negative conversation that's going on out there, particularly in the media. You know, it's important to listen, to get the facts, nothing but the facts, and then just help your client to know what to pay attention to and what not to. And then utilize me too. I can come alongside, I can help support the things that you're telling your client about some of the negative things that they're hearing, you know, about the bubble's going to crash, and you know, we've got a recession coming, and you know, just a lot of things that would be discouraging to a buyer. They need to know what's happening, but they also need to know that there is a cost of waiting. So I've talked to you in the past about the tool that I have available for the cost of waiting tool. I want to make that available, and it's a tool to help you, to help them understand that there is a cost of waiting. For instance, if they had bought a year ago, the amount of appreciation that they would have received over this last year, I mean, they'd be sitting on some pretty good amount of equity. And that appreciation rate is holding pretty strong. So across North and South Carolina, you know, the reports are out, and we're looking at some pretty strong appreciation rates that are continuing and look like they're going to continue. So again, there's a cost of waiting, and I would love to get that tool in front of your clients, so let me know. The second thing I want to talk to you about is the FHA assumption. Now, all of those FHA loans that we've been doing over the past decade with those low interest rates, they are assumable. They have the assumption feature on them. So your client, you know, sellers haven't been looking at FHA, offers. They look at the cash first, you know, the conventional, and then they'll consider an FHA and a USDA. But if the buyer can qualify for an FHA, they can actually assume that interest rate. So if that interest rate was, say, in the upper 2s or the low 3s, today those interest rates are in the 5s. The buyer can come in and can assume that interest rate. So, you know, whereas maybe at the 5s, they you know, don't have the buying power for it. At the 2 or the 3, they still have the buying power. So again, it's those assumption features. You probably haven't heard much about them yet, but you're going to hear a lot about them because they are going to be a big player over the next probably year or two as these interest rates are higher than they have been. Okay, so if you don't know how an assumption works, the FHA assumption, give me a call. I'll talk you through it. I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you how to sell it. I'll tell you what it's most, you know, what is valuable, how, you know, on both the seller side and the buyer side. Okay, so FHA assumption, what's your negative feedback that you're, you know, giving too much attention to, and then of course the cost of waiting tool that I've talked to you about so many times. Take advantage of that. All right, Sumter, South Carolina, come out here, enjoy Poinsett, go over to Swan Lake and see those beautiful irises that are in bloom. Well, talk to you again soon. Again, Angela Pacey, Van Dyke Mortgage, 704-362-3177. Again, 704-362-3177.